Hey, this fun and quick little activity that's going to challenge our creativity, but also some problem solving skills. So what I'm going to do is draw numbers, and those numbers are going to turn into something. You're going to follow along step by step. If you're finished with your other projects, you will just join me. Maybe that's now, or maybe that's in 5 minutes, or maybe that's in 15 minutes. I don't know. It depends on where you are on your other project. You don't have to start with the number 10 if you come in late, even though I'm starting right now with the number 10. So you need a pencil and a piece of paper. I'm going to use a marker so you can see it on the screen. So again, like I said, you're going to start off with the number 10. Nothing fancy yet. Now we're going to connect the top of the 1 back to the 0 with a diagonal. Then we're going to come up just a little bit. You can see that dot I just drew. And we're going to kind of swing it back with like a backwards J, a little bit of a loop back to the middle of the 0. So number 10, diagonal at the top, curved diagonal at the bottom. But notice that little bit still hanging out. All right, speaking of that little bit, we're going to connect it back up with kind of a letter C. And then at the top of that 1, we're going to put a triangle sticking out. Then we're going to add another triangle to the back of the number 0, but up high a little bit. So far we've got 10, diagonal, curve, triangle, triangle, letter C. Excuse me. Now we're going to come back to the top of the diagonal here, and you're going to draw a number 3, but that 3 is going to touch the diagonal. Whoa. It's the morning. I haven't talked very much yet today. Okay, now we're going back into the 0, and you're just going to draw like part of a cloud, but don't finish it up. Leave it open at the top. And then coming off the bottom, do you know what this is yet? Coming off the bottom, we're going to draw slanted 11. Slanted 11. And then 2 lines that stick out to the right. And then 1, 2, 3 lines that stick out to the left, letter V with a split in the middle. How do you know what it is? Let's give that little chicken an eye. And then if you want to add a little detail, you can. If you want to come back to this, make it a little bit more tail-like. Chicken from a 10. All right, we're going to try another one. So maybe you're just starting with us now. That's okay. This one is going to be a number 12. So number 1 and number 2. Number 12. All right, now I want you to extend your number 1, make it taller, both at the top and at the bottom. We need it to be a big 1. And then we're going to come off the top and actually curve again, and that 2 almost looks like a B now. Then we're going to come down to the bottom and close that up. So we just added a kind of a V at the bottom. And then we're going to come back to the top of the, now I'm calling it a B, you guys, instead of a 12. I'm going to come back to the B, add a triangle that points out to the right all by itself, but also another triangle. This one's going to be a little bit longer that goes the other way. So we have 2 triangles at the top sticking out opposite directions. And then we're going to add, kind of copy the 2, the curved line in there, and we'll do it again. And then down at the bottom here, we're going to draw almost a triangle, but it's not going to close. So it comes down, over, and up. And typically you'd have the tip of the triangle, but we're not going to do the tip of the triangle because it bumped into the bottom of the two. Do you know what it is yet? Maybe. All right, right next to the triangle and the 2, you're going to draw big giant 11. But notice how I had to like stop because the triangle was in the way and the 2 was in the way. And then we're going to come back in and put a circle. And all of a sudden you have a woodpecker. Can you see it? Maybe split the... Excuse me, friends. Whoa. So we did a 10 for a chicken, a 12 for a woodpecker. Let's do something that is not a bird. So there's my hint to you. Okay, can you still see? Yes, you can. Ooh, my camera's tipping. Number 16. Big round 6. Don't do a skinny 6. Okay, we're going to come from the top of the 1 and connect back to the top of the 6. From the bottom of the 1, half up. So not the bottom. We're not going to go bottom to bottom like we did top to top. We're going to go bottom to almost middle. So it's a diagonal. And then we're going to take this 6, which is a start of a curve, and we're just going to finish it. So it made an oval. Almost looks like a fish, but that's not what it is. And then at the bottom, you're going to curve off with like kind of a letter C, but it's a funky C because it has to come all the way back to the bottom of the 6. And then copy that. Do it again inside there. So you did one C and then another one inside. Okay, now we're going to do a series of circles. 1 little circle, 2 little circles, 3 little circles, 4 little circles. So 2 are in the top of the 6, 2 are in the middle of the 6. Do you know what this is? It's getting there. It still looks kind of like a funky fish. Okay, off the top of that very first horizontal line that we drew, you're going to draw some like spiky diagonals. And then you're going to come off the top and draw what looks like bunny ears, but it's not a bunny. Do you know what it is? It's a donkey. Oh, it's so cute. And you can add a little personality to it if you want to. Is he mounted on the wall? I don't want to think that. I want to think this is the side. He's sticking his head out. Oh, from behind the tree that the woodpecker's also hanging out at. All right, there. You don't have to draw that. It was a little morbid when we just saw just the donkey's head. Okay, what's coming next? Again, if you're just joining us now, that's cool. You don't have to go back and finish up the other animals, but I will leave them there so you can see them. All right, number 3, which is actually number 4. Get it? 1, 2, 3, but I'm drawing a 3, but it's actually the 4th. Okay, now we're going to close up the 3, almost making it an 8, but we're not going to touch. You're going to leave an opening there and then do it again. Almost became an 8, but it's not. All right, and then inside the top of the 3, you're going to put a little circle in kind of in the middle, not really in the middle, but over to the front, and then another one off the front of that. And then we're going to draw a curve, like a little mountain line, not mountain lion, but mountain line inside there. And then off the back of the 3, we're going to put a little circle. Do you know what it is? Inside, oh no, I don't know how to describe that. The front of this thing, okay, underneath there, you're going to put a number 3, boop, boop. but it's backwards. Backwards number 3. And then another one that's really wide, that like sticks out. So if I didn't want to call that a backwards 3, I could have just said big letter C, big letter C. Do you know what it is? Hopefully you will when I do this. And it's a little rabbit out of the letter C. And again, you can take a second, make it cute. Maybe it has a carrot in its paw. Are those paws or are they feet? Rabbit's foot, so not paws. Are they paws? Now I gotta think about that. All right, what's next? This one's fun. It's a number 22. 22. And you're gonna go from the top of the first 2 and connect it from the front to the front with a curve, just like that. So from the front of the 2 to the front of the 2, up and over. Then we're gonna go to the bottom of the front 2 and just extend that line. So all I did was make it longer up the front, but now I'm going to come in here and do kind of a curved triangle top. Curved though. Then I'm going to come back to the other 2 and I'm again draw another curved triangle. And inside that curved triangle, I'm definitely going to put zigzags. And then I'm going to put one circle up above it. Do you know what this is? Mine looks a little silly. Maybe curve this back just a bit. The top of the 2. Okay, the picture that I'm looking at looks cuter than mine. And then some water splashes. It's a shark. Doesn't look like a shark. Do I need to change the eye? I don't know. Where are my shark drawers at? Does it have gills? Do I need to put gills on there? Does that look more like a shark? Oh, that's better actually. Changing the eye. The picture made it look really cute. Ours needs to look a little more fierce. Okay, moving on to another one. If you're just joining us, pencil, piece of paper. Now in number 9, but the number 9 is different. It's like one of these like curvy kind of 9s, which honestly, let's call that a G because that's what I feel like I just drew. And I'm gonna move my camera. Oops, wrong direction. This way. There we go. So I can see what I'm doing. Okay, inside the top of the 9 or the G, whatever you want to decide to call it, we're gonna put kind of an oval. And at the bottom of the 9 or the G, again, whatever you want to call it, we're going to curve it back. And then the space between these 2 curves, I want you to add a triangle that sticks to the left. And then from the tip of that, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, this looks so weird compared to what it's going to look like in a second. Go back into that oval in the middle again. Put 2 circles. There we go. Toward the top. Can you tell what it is? We'll come back to the bottom of the, what was that? Now I can't remember. A 9? A G, and again 2 or 3 more little lines. Oh, and it needs these curves at the top, which are kind of bigger than normal because it's a koala bear. That's cute. And if you want to put a little smile in there, you can. If you want to finish the tree because it's climbing a tree, or add a branch so that we know it's getting its bamboo. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. That was weird. Oh, now I have to make it up like I meant to do that. Little koala hanging onto a tree. Oh, it's cute. All right, if you're still with me, I'm gonna go right below that. This one is not an animal. Number 5. I should start with this one because it's kind of the easiest. And I'm gonna close it with the letter C. And then I'm gonna come back to the top of that 5 again, and I'm gonna curve it down. And then on the other side, I am gonna add, you know what this is? I'm gonna add another leaf because it's an orange. Well, it could be an apple. Depends on what color you color it and kind of what shape you end up with. They're not an animal or a bird or a shark. All right, this is also not a bird, an animal, or shark. It's not even a fruit. I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna start with the number 1, but a fancy number 1 that has the top and the bottom. Ooh, I call it, it looks old-fashioned to me. Okay, off the top of the 1, we're gonna draw a diagonal that comes from that back to the center. So diagonal, from the top back to the center. And then from the top over here, we're gonna come down diagonal. All right, now that's that line we just drew. Let's connect it back to the horizontal line at the bottom. It doesn't have to hit the end, so mine's gonna hit in a little bit because I made my line a little bit large at the beginning. And then let's look at this line at the top. We're just gonna double it. So parallel, parallel. And then in that space in between, a bunch of little circles. And then we'll come back up into this space up above and draw kind of a rectangle, but it's got a curve, it's got a slant to it. Do you know what this is? And then we're gonna, oopsie, I messed that up, so I'm gonna make that into my line. We're gonna come back from that thing back to the top of the 1. And then coming out of that little shape, we're gonna draw some clouds. Do you know what it is? It's a ship, like a cargo container. Maybe put some stripes, maybe add some more water. It's kind of a funky angle. It's like we're down low in the water and we're looking up at it. Or it looks like a kite that has taken a plunge into the water. Okay, one more if we have time. And do I have room? Here we go. So again, you might just be joining me right now for the number 29, and it has to be one of those curved 9s again, but this time it can actually touch. 29, the curved 9, which again, kind of looks like a G. Okay. Off the front of the 9 or G, whatever you want to call it, we're going to put a triangle sticking to the left. And then off the top of this curve, we're going to come out and draw a large curve. And it's going to extend beyond the 2. So it's a big one. It sticks way out there. And then we're going to come into the 2 and draw from, well, what do I want to do here? No, skip that for a second. Come to the bottom of the 2 and extend the line out, the horizontal line from the bottom. Make it come out bigger. or wider. And then we're going to come back into the 2, and we're just going to draw those curved letter C's from the top all the way down to the bottom. And I should have made the bottom one stick out a little bit, but that's okay. You can if you want. Do you know what it is? It's kind of a little weird, but it'll close it up. So we're going to come back to the top of that kind of rainbow arch line that we drew, and you're going to come up just a teeny tiny bit and then curve it down to hit the wing, because we just drew a little swan. It's sleeping. So come back into the top of the G or the 9 and put a little curve because the eye's closed. And then you can close this up. Maybe it's laying in a puddle. They do like to do that. I don't know why. Cute little swan. Okay. Whew, that was a lot. From the 10 to the chicken to the 12 with the woodpecker. I forgot what it was. And then the donkey. The rabbit was a 3. Shark was a 22. The koala was a 19. The ship was a, what was the ship, you guys? Oh, a number 1. To the fruit, various fruit, was a 5. And then the swan, the finale. Oh, I just saw I have one more. Was a 29. Okay, give yourself room at the top and the bottom of this one, because I'm going to start with the number 2. This will be our last one. Oh, can't see it. Number 2. And we're going to close the 2 up with a curve. And then we're going to come to the back of that 2 and draw a vertical line, like almost looks like a stair step. And then again, parallel lines. So we're going to come back to that curve that I just drew, and we're going to copy straight down to the bottom of the 2. It's going to stop there, and then curve from the bottom of the 2 to that line. So from there to there. Oh, I didn't know if I gave myself enough room. That's okay. We'll go back up to this top of the 2 and we'll put a big skinny triangle sticking out to the left. Put a dot in there. Do you know what this is? It's a flamingo. So vertical line, give it its little foot down there. And then if you know, flamingos like to stand on 1 foot. So we'll come back, angled out, and then forward. And then put its little claw. No, what is that? What's a bird's foot called, you guys? I can't remember. And then inside there, we'll give it its wing, which is just kind of like a letter C. And that's cute. I'm gonna just make it a little cuter at the top, just because that's not in the directions. That's just me. Well, that was fun. All right, hopefully you got to join us for some or all. I'll save the video, and if we ever have another day and you missed it today, it'll be easy enough to push play, right? Thank you for joining me. You can add details now.